Well, the Prime Minister is facing a major diplomatic test in China.
Well, I forgot to put up the starting soon thingy. Whoops. Hello and welcome, or welcome back to the stream. Hello Ricochet, nice to see you. It's been a long day and I am tired and I am nauseous. And yeah. I don't know. Let's do the spelling bee, I guess. If I remember to put it up. Will I? Yes. Alright. Spelling bee time. Oh, where is it? Okay, we have the letters B, U, R, H, G, O, and we have to use the letter T. Turbo? Hey Dango, good to see you. Can we have butt hurt? We can have butt hurt. Will it accept it? No, it won't. It doesn't accept the word butt hurt, guys. Didn't Americans make that word up? Shouldn't it let me have that? How do you spell thorough? I don't think that's right. Oh, it is right. I spelled thorough correctly. Look at me go. Through. Thought. Oh no, I need a G in there. Duh. HT. Oh, we could have trout. Oh, I finished it all by myself for once. Go me. Maybe my anti-nausea medication is making me smarter. I doubt it. I doubt that's what's happening, but you know, I did do it all by myself. So hi Baboovian, good to see you. Oh, now let's see if I can continue my streak in the crossword. I probably won't. I'm either really good at the crossword or really bad at the crossword. Why can't I speak English? Account used to log into threads. Familiarly. Threads. I don't know. Upscale gym freebie. I don't know. Bad thing to feel towards the end of the marathon. Heart attack? I don't know. Vowelless grunt. Vegetable in fried rice. Egg isn't a vegetable. Reason to scratch one's head, perhaps. I don't know. An itch, maybe? Standard. Shrek's home. I think that's a swamp. I don't know, because I'm not a child. Well, I act like one. But contrary to belief, I'm not a child. Arizona City between Phoenix and Mesa. Generation kids were born in the 2010s. Is that Generation Alpha? I want to say. Because I think millennials start at like 1979 and go to like the 90s. And then it's Generation Z and then it's Generation... whatever that one is. I don't know. Seven across is cramp. Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Good work. I think this one is humph, a sound for like a vowelless grunt. Oh, pea. Pea is a vegetable in fried rice. Okay. So 6. Upscale gym freebie. Upscale gym freebie. Huh. I go to an upscale gym now, but I don't go there when like anyone's there. I go there literally at like 12:30 a.m. and if I see someone there, I freak out. Reasons to scratch one's head is an itch. Okay. Oh, Tempe, Arizona. That's a place, right? Tempe, Arizona. I feel like I've heard of that. Upscale gym freebie is a towel. All right, so we've got... This is a norm? Oh, we solved it. Did I just solve that all by myself, apart from one thing which Ricochet helped me with? Wow, look at us go. We're on fire today. Exciting times. I mean, it wasn't like super hard or anything, but you know, sometimes it's nice to feel accomplished and like you did something. That was kind of like a crossword for babies, but still, I did it. So, you know, I feel good. Connections. All right. Maybe this is like I'm training my brain. You know how like they used to have those games where you would like, there was like one on Nintendo DS where like you would do a test and it would say like, oh, you're 18, but your mental age is 92. And then you would do like these brain training exercises and you would like try and bring down your like, your mental age. Maybe I've been doing that. Maybe I'm slowly increasing my cognitive capacity. I mean, probably not. Let's be honest. All right, we are playing the, what's it called? Connections. The theme. I call it the theme game because that's what it is. We have to put 4 words into 4 themes, 4 words each. Your mental age is low enough, thank you. Yeah, mine's pretty low. I mean, maturity-wise, it's pretty low for me. All right, we have sporty, jolly, ice, ginger. Oh, I already know one. This is the Spice Girls. Sporty, ginger, baby, scary. Oh, they left posh out. That's nasty. Spice Girls. Oh, it wasn't the Spice Girls. They tricked me. How rude. Okay, well, that was really mean. That was so mean. I thought it was the Spice Girls. I was kind of a bit like, oh, there's no posh there, but that was, yeah, that hurt me. That hurt me deep inside my heart. How dare you? All right, now I have to actually be careful because I used one of my things. Oh, I feel so sad. Compact, sleek, sporty, fast. These are all words to describe cars. Could that be something? You gotta help me, guys. I'm out here struggling. If nobody stops me in 10 seconds, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it. Adjectives for a sports car. Yay, I got it right. Yeah, I am so smart today. What is this? www.twitch.tv. What is that? Filthy naughty sloop. I don't know what's going on. Anyway. Ay. Alright. Flounders. It's that clip for the shorts. Oh, okay. I got confused. I didn't know what was happening. Roy. Baby belt powder. Sky, Jolly Ginger, Mr. Flounder's Eyes, Scary Baby Ginger, Roy, Jolly Sky Powder. Why is this happening to me? I don't even know what this is. What is this? A butt? A boot? A booty boot? Flounders is from The Simpsons? I thought that was Flanders. Or is there a guy called Flounders as well? I know stupid sexy Flanders, like the Christian guy that lives next door. Rod and Todd, his sons. Oh. Ice Spice, Scary Spice, Baby Spice, Ginger Spice? Ice, because there's a person called Ice Spice, isn't there? I feel like that's a person. But I don't know, because I don't have many chances left. I don't know. Because isn't like floundering when you are sort of like a fish floundering on land, like, or a person floundering in the water? I feel like, I don't know, but what do you think? There's a person called Ice Spice, right? Scary Spice, Baby Spice, and Ginger Spice. But I've already tried the celebrities with Spice, but I thought it was the Spice Girls, so I put that. I don't know. Alright, I'm gonna try this just because I literally have nothing else. Yeah, I don't know what that means if I don't look it up, and looking it up is cheating, right? Should I look it up just because I don't know what it is? But yeah, that is cheating, right? I can't really do that. Nah. Wrong. I knew it was gonna be wrong, but like I have literally nothing else. Sky. What words could relate to sky? It makes you think some wordplay is about. Yeah, but is it going to be super culturally specific in a way that I won't be able to get it because it's hyper American or something? Because I don't remember the last time I watched something American. I honestly don't remember. I'm trying to think the last time I saw an American movie. Oh, I saw June. I saw June 1 and 2 at the movies. What else? Yeah, I was gonna go see the new Beetlejuice movie, but I didn't actually get around to it. But I don't really know that I'm missing out on much, you know. Oh, I watched Wednesday. Ginger, Mr. Roy, Jolly. Mr. Roy? What's Mr. Roy mean? All right, I will trust you because yeah, people can act in a gingerly way. I've heard that used as an adjective before. So we'll go for that, I guess. Words before Rogers. Okay, yeah, there's no way I was going to get that because I don't speak American. It's okay. A lot of Americans don't speak Australian, so that's all right. It says belled or belled, maybe? Belled? Like, how do you have a past tense of bell? I don't understand. Bell, Scar, Disney Plus, one letter. Oh. Oh, and Flounder. Flounder is the fish in the Little Mermaid. Flounder is the fish in the Little Mermaid. Abu is the monkey in Aladdin. Abu is the monkey in Aladdin, isn't it? Disney animated characters. You did it. You did it. You did it. You did it. Ice Baby Sky powder. Shades of blue. Oh yeah, that makes sense. All right. Well, we got there in the end. It tricked me. It tricked me with putting all these Spice Girl names in there. And I was like, well, they're just leaving out Posh to be dickheads. Although she did leave the band at one stage. Don't ask me how I know the history of the Spice Girls, please. Everything I've learned about girl bands has been against my will. Thank you. She deserves to be left out. Hello, how am I? I am good, top racked. I guess we'll watch a video. I was expecting those games to go for a while. I smashed the spelling bee and I smashed the crossword. I'm so proud of myself for doing the most basic of tasks. But you know, sometimes you've got to be your own cheerleader in this world. All right, let's see why Anthony Albanese is facing major diplomatic tests in China. 13 hours ago, it's our favorite drunk and unprofessional dude, Karl Stefanovic. Where am I from? I am from Australia. Western Sydney specifically, but I currently reside in Melbourne.
China, after refusing to answer what role Australia would play in a war over Taiwan.
For more, we are joined now by national security expert Michael Shoebridge in Canberra. Michael, good morning to you. The PM is really walking a tightrope at the moment, isn't he?
Yes, Sarah, and the fact this issue over Taiwan has come up shows there's a level of doubt and concern in Washington about our alliance.
It's interesting because I guess he's trying to keep both sides happy, right? But at the same time, it's as though he's keeping neither happy.
Well, yes, you know, I understand, and the Americans would too, that no ally is going to be able to give a cast-iron future guarantee about participating in a future conflict, one that we hope doesn't happen. But America will be surprised the Prime Minister can't bring himself to say something like, deterring conflict over Taiwan is important. That's why Australia is involved in sensible collective defence planning with our partners and allies.
He's making an absolute meal of something that's pretty simple. You know, they're coming out.
Yes, balancing two superpowers' interests is super straightforward. Hello, you saw me in your TikTok feed, so you gave me a follow. Oh, thank you, Delta. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Yeah. Like, yeah, geopolitics is super simple, guys. Geopolitics is super simple. It's like to chuck Australia in with the rest of the Anglosphere when we are clearly in the Asian Pacific area. It's like, it's not that straightforward for us. It's not that straightforward for us at all. And I think we should be able to form close relationships with our neighbors. Why shouldn't we? Like, what allegiance do we owe to America? Nothing. If anything, our alliance with them is putting a target on our back. I seem pretty cool. You're a bit wary at first since VTubers and politics isn't a great match. Yeah, well, I'm more doing the VTuber thing for anonymity. Yes, I said that right. Just because, yeah, like I'm a social worker, so my job's pretty political anyway. But I just want to be able to say and do whatever I want without like people doxing me and, you know, doing all that type of stuff. So for me, yeah, it was really the only way that I could make any type of content and be anonymous. So I went for the VTuber route. But I don't just do politics, but it is something that I've always, you know, followed and been interested in. But yeah. It's yeah, there are so many crazy people out there, so you really just you really just have to be careful. And you know, if I lose my job or something happens, like I'm screwed. So yeah. It's yeah, just taking care of ourselves, I guess.
With terms like we can be strategically ambiguous in relation to assets, but I get the feeling the US is saying, if we build it, you will come.
Yes, well, look, there's 30,000 troops, you know, mainly American with Australian and other partners like Japan and South Korea exercising out of Australian bases right now to deter conflict and to deter China from conflict. So this ambiguity we're getting from the Prime Minister doesn't really sound like ambiguity. It sounds like he's wanting to run 1,000,000 miles away from collective defence.
It's interesting, Mike. I mean, we were talking about this last week, Carl and I, about if the US is involved in conflict in a region, you would assume that Australia would also then become involved, right? I mean, isn't that just the basic principle of our military alliance with the US? Aren't we drawn in regardless?
Well, I think our whole defence strategy...
That's 100% correct, Delta. Our closest geographical neighbor is Indonesia. Like, and Indonesia is the largest Muslim country in the world as well. So it just really goes to show, like, just how different Australia is to the rest of the Anglosphere, right? Because obviously, like, England has the Church of England, and the head of state is King Charles at the moment. Whoever the monarch is the head of the Church of England. So their state religion is intrinsically linked, right? And obviously he's our head of state too, technically, because we're a constitutional democracy. But, you know, Australia is a very multicultural country, and I know the UK's become multicultural very, very recently. They don't seem to be handling it as well as we do. But yeah, like we don't really need, like, I know America's supposed to have separation of church and state, but it almost seems like a theocracy over there, especially with the way, like, they talk about a lot of politicians, especially on the Republican side of the aisle, seem to talk about, like, especially Israel as if it's like godly divine, it's in the Bible, all this stuff, which it's not. Like, I've read the Bible. I grew up Catholic, like, I read the Bible. It's nothing in there tells me that I have to defend the Jewish state of Israel. Nothing in there at all. In fact, Jesus said some stuff to the contrary in the New Testament. But yeah, it's just really interesting because I just think Australia's views on Islam and obviously Asia are different and also need to be different. Like, I'm personally, I grew up in Western Sydney, so growing up, the majority of my friends are Muslim, and yeah, obviously a lot of Asian people in Sydney, very huge Asian population. It's very, very different for us in Australia. We have a very different culture. I know because we speak English and this, that, and the other, people like to lump us in with, you know, Canada and the UK and with America, but I just don't see it. Same with the outer suburbs of Melbourne. Yeah, Melbourne. Well, I live in Melbourne now, but I didn't grow up here. But I have moved here in the last sort of few years. Yeah, no, there's definitely like Roxy and places like that where I've been to try and find a good kebab. I did notice it felt like very Western Sydney-ish out there. I was like, oh yeah, this feels like home to me. Yeah, but yeah, it's just, I don't know. I feel like we get chucked in with, just because of like our colonial history, and obviously obviously not including Indigenous history, but including, you know, after 1788 history, you know, that British influence and yada, yada, yada. But I think we're so far removed from that now as a modern culture. Like, I don't think that's been applicable for even the last, like, 50, 60 years. I think we really just are very, very different to the rest of the countries that we're always being lumped in with, and we're always, you know, being expected. Because people always act surprised when, like, Australians don't behave the way that like Americans or the British or, you know, Canadians expect us to. And it's like, yeah, I don't know where you got these preconceived notions from. The voice referendum really shined a light that you feel like Australia is still pretty immature. Yeah, look, I think that was a failing on information and propaganda. I really feel like there was a lot of misinformation floating around. And people were scared. People thought they were being tricked into voting something, you know, for something else. Yeah, there was a lot of things that were really, obviously I don't want to say there's a lot of racists in Australia, because I think they're the minority, but I think they're a really vocal minority, unfortunately. But I don't think most Australians, if you actually sit them down and talk to them, they hate people, you know, based purely on like a racial or ethnic basis. But I think especially since like social media and stuff's become a lot of, for some people, even the main way that they communicate with other people. I think a lot of people have found themselves in echo chambers, right? So like, say if you have like certain beliefs and you find other people that have those beliefs, and then you only talk to those people and you're not out talking to normal people, you kind of get like this very skewed view of the world. And I think that's another thing too. Like, people will only read one news source. So say if they're only reading Sky News or they're only reading The Guardian, like those are two, you know, very sort of ideologically opposed media sources. And then, yeah, you just kind of get stuck. You just kind of get stuck in a place of being radicalized one way or the other. And yeah, it just sucks. But it's just, I don't know how as a society we'll deal with that in the future, but I mean, hopefully there are some ways to combat that. But yeah, I like to see people talking to each other and having more conversations. But I definitely think there's a place, you know, for constitutional recognition at some stage, and I think it should be First Nations led, because yeah, look, like in the profession that I work in, social work, like social workers were the people that, you know, implemented the policies that resulted in the stolen generation, right? But at the time, they thought that was a how can I word this? They thought that like that was some type of like altruistic act, right? They thought that like they were acting in the best interests of Indigenous children, and obviously it was awful, and obviously it resulted in, you know, catastrophic intergenerational trauma for everybody involved, and it's really, really horrible. But yeah, at the time, according to best practice, that's what they thought. Like that's what they thought they were, you know, perhaps helping, and that's terrifying. And that's why, like, in social work now, like, you only really work with Indigenous First Nations communities if you are First Nations or Torres Strait Islander or Aboriginal. So we kind of, I think that's the way to go about it. And I just kind of, yeah, I don't even know if non-Indigenous people should be voting on it, honestly. I know for constitutional change, you have to have a referendum, and that's how it works. But I would honestly like to see just Indigenous people vote on it themselves, because I just feel like, what do I know about it? Like, I don't have that experience, and I don't have that history. And as much as I can try and empathize with it, it's not my experience. And I just, yeah, I wonder if there's a way that that can be. I mean, there's always a way with writing policy that they could work that out. But yeah, it's really, really complicated. And if it wasn't really, really complicated, we probably would have some type of. It wasn't really anything, just an advisory body. Yeah, look, I think there needs to be some type of parallel governance that allows for some degree of self-determination for Indigenous people, because I just think, yeah, it should all be like self-determined. Oh, no, you're fine, Delta. It's definitely like an important topic. I'm just very sick today, so I'm having trouble gathering my thoughts. I've been so nauseous all day, so I'm just a bit all over the shop. But yeah, it's no, don't apologize. We just talk about anything here, so yeah, feel free to. Everyone is sick. Yeah. Well, I'm always sick, so. This is great though. What's great, Hyperbovian? We got 3 people from Melbourne now. Well, I live in Melbourne, so that counts, right? That counts. I watch AFL now. You definitely support an Indigenous veto block? Yeah. Look, I think... Yeah, I just don't feel comfortable as a non-Indigenous person, like, having any type of say in their future, like, in their policy or their future. I feel like it should be up to them, because I just feel like historically... We've always effed it up, right? We've always made mistakes. And I just don't... Yeah, I just feel like that should be something that they can, you know... What's the words I'm looking for? I'm not very articulate today. Maybe with similar joint seeding runoff to a double rejection. Yeah, I mean, that could be feasible. Anyway, back to Albo and China.
Is we don't fight alone. We work with partners and allies to prevent wars, but we'll fight together if a war happens. That's the whole strategy. And again, that's why so many American and other forces are using Australian bases to practice right now.
So why is the PM trying to distance himself from that position then? That's the part that's bewildering.
Well, I think he's on this very long visit to China, and he's congratulating himself about what he calls stabilizing the relationship. He knows in the...
I know, but we like to pay Karl Stefanovic out. He's definitely an example of failing up in the world. Like, the guy literally turns up to work drunk. He's in the papers for getting into punch-ons with Michael Clark in parks, things like this. And like anyone else, right, our careers would be over, we would be fired, we wouldn't be able to pay our rent, we would be, you know, up shit creek. But Karl Stefanovic just keeps on failing up. And yeah, like it's a running joke on here how much I pay out Karl Stefanovic. It's kind of like my hobby. But this was one of the few segments I could find that was like more than a minute. So yeah, look, Karl Stefanovic is a study in just dumb luck. Like, why is he held up as like some bastion of journalistic integrity? Well, he's not, that's the issue. He's he gets all these plush gigs. He gets paid an insane amount of money too, like an insane amount of money. And yeah, just the professionalism or lack thereof is really an astounding thing to behold. But yeah, we love watching today's segments on here, just mainly. How often do you reckon I have given Karl Stefanovic shit on this stream, Hyperbovian? You've been here since the beginning. How long do you reckon? How many times do you reckon I just said something mean about him? It's cause he asks the right questions. Oh yes, Karl Stefanovic. He treads where no other man dares to. Yeah, he's out here on the front lines, guys. Maybe 6 times? Oh, okay. I feel like it's more than that, but it is a running gag for sure.
Security field, it's anything but stable. But he can't bring himself to say something simple.
It's so bizarre. I mean, there was no confirmation.
It's not bizarre. He doesn't want to offend China before he goes to China. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't study international relations, but even just diplomacy that you have interpersonally, you know not to not to offend people before you go to their house, right? Or you know not to offend, half of your wedding guests the day before your wedding. It's not rocket science. It's not brain surgery. I mean, yeah, look, maybe I should just get given an honorary doctorate in like international relations and diplomacy, because clearly I am above these dudes.
Either about Pine Gap and whether or not we were used in a capacity for the strike on Iran. I get that. I get the complexities of all that and the need to keep that secret. But we're in it deep with the US and no one else is coming to save us.
Well, exactly, and that is a physical and technological fact, but it's also the best way to ensure Australia's and the region's security.
Oh, his brother that works for Sky News, right? And when that little kid not a little kid, I think it was like 14 or 15, when that kid won the barramundi, the what was it, $1 million barra or whatever, and then he like dug into his past. Yeah, that was so awful. And that was so overtly racist. That was so like obviously some type of extreme prejudice against like Indigenous kids. Oh, an Indigenous kid won. Well, I wonder what skeletons he's got in his closet. But apparently like he was cool with the guy that he used to work for and he'd already apologized and all of this stuff. And his old employer didn't have a problem with him and even came out and defended him and was like, yeah, he's a good kid. Like, yeah, it's just, all kids make mistakes, right? All kids do stupid stuff. It's called growing and learning. What does that have to do with your heritage? It's got nothing to do with anything. But yeah, look, obviously some people just are gross and just have gross ideas about certain groups of people, and it's disgusting, but unfortunately it's the world that we live in.
America's power is essential for peace and security in our region.
Well, either way, these submarines are at least 20 years away, so we'll see what happens.
No. We should be sleeping with one eye open.
I know. Thanks very much, Michael. Well, the Prime Minister is refusing to bow to Pentagon Policy Chief Eldridge Colby amid demands Australia commit our US supplied submarines to a potential American war. China. Joining us to discuss today's headlines is Liberal MP Aaron Violi and 4BC host Peter Fegan. Good to see you both this morning, guys. Aaron, let's start with you. So Anthony Albanese is walking a diplomatic tightrope here, but regional security is, of course, the elephant in the room. It's a tough task at keeping two superpowers happy. How do you reckon he's doing?
Yeah, well, it's an important task. It's no doubt that maintaining the status quo with Taiwan and China is really important for Australia's national security, but also regional and global national security. So making sure that we have a strong deterrence and also stronger trade ties with China will help with that. So it's a tough task, but look, some important announcements from the Prime Minister yesterday. So we will give him credit where it's due. My community, wine and tourism is a big sector, so it was good to see that agreement signed, but he always needs to make sure that Australia's national interest is first and foremost in our relationship with China and also the US.
Is he making sure of that, though, the national security part of the deal?
Well, this is the question and this is the challenge that he faces. AUKUS is such an important agreement for our regional security, for our national security. The ANZUS Treaty has served us well for many, many decades, so we need to continue to strengthen our partnerships with the US. They are an important strategic ally, there is no doubt about that, and continuing to make...
He just spoke about ANZUS, but where's New Zealand in AUKUS, huh? How come they get to run away? How come they don't have to be stuck in this bull poo-poo? It's so unfair. New Zealand just get to walk away and we don't. We have to stay in this toxic relationship. Yuck. So unfair.
Make sure AUKUS moves forward. Pillar 1 with the submarines, but also Pillar 2 with AI, cybersonics, hyper. It's such an important area. We need to strengthen that relationship.
New Zealand has a law that prevents nuclear ships from docking in their ports. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. But yeah, they used to be obviously a part of the ANZUS Treaty, which was the treaty that Australia was signatory. Can I speak English? No, I can't. Before AUKUS, and it's just unfair that they just get to walk away, not have to worry about it. Goes back to the 70s. It's why they left ANZUS. Oh, okay. I thought they were just, you know, being opportunistic and sneaky. I'm like, why can't we sneak away too?
And that's where a face-to-face meeting with President Trump is so important, and it's disappointing that the Prime Minister hasn't achieved that yet, and he needs to get there as soon as he can.
Seems like we're no closer to it either. Pete, does backing America in war, I mean, it comes part and parcel with our alliance, doesn't it?
Well, Sarah, you did ask Aaron how he's doing. I think he's doing terribly because he's only keeping one superpower happy. What's this? Sarah, his fourth meeting with Xi Jinping, and how many has he had with Donald Trump? He's yet to secure a face-to-face meeting with the US President, and the US President has every right to question Australia's alliance this morning because this is, again, the fourth meeting with China, still yet to secure one with the US. He is still refusing to meet the 3.5% demand of military spend on GDP. And so the US has every right to now question Anthony Albanese and his alliances.
I'm sorry. I seem to remember a scheduled meeting that Trump ran away from because he had to go bomb Iran for Israel. I seem to remember they were supposed to be meeting at a certain summit in Canada. I don't know. Maybe Xi Jinping makes time for Albo. Did you ever think about that? Interesting. But yeah, good on Albo for at least pushing back against it a little bit. Doesn't matter, everyone straight up lies now. Oh, everybody's been straight up lying forever, Delta. It's just that we're more aware of it now. There used to be, you know, only a few avenues to get our propaganda used to be a lot more curated. Let's just say that, you know, we only really had television and newspapers, and now we have many different sources, and people can, you know, film things and record things themselves. And this is like one of the only reasons why like real narratives or alternative narratives are able to get out there, because people can just pull out their phones when something's happening, or, you know, people that maybe are privy to different information can disseminate that online, whereas like before they couldn't. But yeah, that's the only reason why we're kind of aware now that like we're being lied to. But this is something that's been happening for a really, really long time.
To which country? And again, you've got also Kevin Rudd, who is the representative in Washington that once called Donald Trump a traitor to the West. I mean, you know.
All right. Well, that aside, what about this line that the PM is repeating, strategic ambiguity? I mean, we do have a right, don't we? I mean, and we're talking about subs that are still, what, 20 years away before we even see them.
We do have yes, we do have a right, but also we've got a $300 billion submarine deal on the table here, AUKUS, that the Pentagon has already ordered a review into as well, Sarah. So it's interesting. Yes, I do admit that he's in a precarious position. He is caught between two superpowers, but I think questioning his alliance this morning is for the US, has every right to do it. I mean, again, 4 meetings with China. I just don't understand how he can't secure one with the US president.
All right, let's quickly move on.
As the PM is in China, the US wants AUKUS subs to be available potentially against China. You can almost see Taiwan from Cape on a good day. How concerned are you about that relationship?
Oh, deeply concerning. And look, it's not my...
Did Karl Stefanovic just have a, what's her name? The I can see Russia from my house lady, Sarah Palin. Did he just have a Sarah Palin moment? He said, I can see Taiwan from Cape York. I mean, isn't he from Townsville or Cairns or something? Maybe that's what he thinks. I think that's like the Whit Sundays. That might be PNG that you can see, Karl. I'm not sure. Maybe go. Probably one of the Torres Strait Islands. Maybe go get your head checked by a doctor. I don't know, that would be my suggestion. He's from Townsville. Yeah, I know he's from North Queensland. I know that he supports the Cowboys in the North Queensland Cowboys in the NRL because they lost to Parramatta in the semi-finals, and then it was Panthers versus Parramatta. This was in a few years ago. Because I'm a Parramatta supporter, so I remember really vividly. And he was going out to Penrith and pretending that, like, he was down with the people in Penrith, which, like, no, you're not, dickhead. All right. And he was just, like, bagging out Parramatta. And then he was like, oh, Cowboys were robbed. And then started going on. I can't remember if it was Townsville or Cairns, but it's like, no offense to Queensland, but I don't really know where places up there are. Like, I haven't even been to Queensland before, so... I don't know what all those places up there are. Sorry, Queensland, nothing against you. Except during State of Origin. And then I have a lot of things against you. Okay? All right.
Place to give foreign policy advice to the Prime Minister, but I make this observation as Australians and as Queenslanders, we want to feel safe in the Asia-Pacific region. At the moment, we've got Exercise Talisman Sabre happening here. That's 19 of our great friends who are here training, sharpening their skills. I've already said that I want to make a bid to host the Quad. That's the US, India and Japan here in Queensland. There's some great economic opportunities, but also some great safety opportunities. I just want our region to be safe.
It's a weird, ambiguous message.
To do everything we can.
It's a weird, ambiguous message that we're sending out.
Yeah, we need clarity, and we need to make sure that we leave very little wriggle room when it comes to keeping our region safe and knowing who our mates are.
All right, Premier, always good to talk to you. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Sarah.
The Prime Minister will focus on a big business expansion into China as he wakes up for the second day of his week-long diplomatic mission. Today, Federal Politics reporter Liz Daniels is in Shanghai.
Big name Aussie businesses see a big opportunity here in Shanghai, and today household names like the CEOs of Fortescue Metals, Rio Tinto and BHP will be alongside the Prime Minister as he hosts a roundtable aimed at how they can help make China's mega steel-making industry green. Anthony Albanese has already enlisted former Socceroos star turned Shanghai port manager Kevin Muscat to strengthen ties.
Oh, okay. I chose this video because it was long, but half of the video isn't even about the topic. So thank you for tricking me, Channel 9. Enjoy your 2 cents ad revenue from me. I hope you enjoy it. Queenslanders are the ones buying Yang tanks? Probably. I can't handle those. Just drive a normal ute, please. It's so extreme. Like, why do you need that? Pardon me. My hands are so swollen right now. Like, I'm gonna have to get blood tests done to see if I'm having an RA flare or a lupus flare, because I'm having one or the other. I just woke up in pain. I was like, no, this is not good. All right. The United Nations Francesca Albanese, do we say Albanese or Albanese? Slams US sanctions as retaliation for exposing Gaza war crimes. Yeah, I like it how America always used to use human rights violations as like pretexts to invade like other countries. And, you know, but it's okay when they do it. It's all right when they do it, or it's all right when they facilitate it. It's very interesting.
Organizations have criticized a US move imposing sanctions against the UN Special Rapporteur for the occupied Palestinian territories. Francesca Albanese has been critical of Israel's genocide in Gaza and has voiced support.
Wait. Has all of Australia been saying Albanese wrong? Is it Albanese? I'm going to say Albanese because I feel like the Al Jazeera reporter is like very, very well spoken, and I feel like she would know how to say it properly. I'm going to say Albanese. It makes me feel fancy. I'm going to say it like that. That's what I'm going to say from now on. America has a long history of war crimes. Yeah, they do. They do indeed.
for the International Criminal Court's efforts to try Israeli leaders. On Wednesday, Secretary of State Marco Rubio accused her of anti-Semitism. Amnesty International called the decision a graceful affront to international justice. Well, Marco Rubio posted on X saying, "I'm imposing sanctions on UN Human Rights Council Special Rapporteur Francesca Albanese for her illegitimate and shameful efforts to prompt international criminal court action against US and Israeli officials."
This is so Orwellian. This is straight out of like doublethink thought police. What in the actual heck? Like this is her job. She's a UN Human Rights Council special rap. I'm gonna say this wrong. Rapporteur. Like that's literally her job. She obviously is credentialed to make determinations based on international law. Just because you don't like what she's saying, it doesn't mean it's not true. And criticism of Israel isn't anti-Semitism. Like, that just means any country that's a theocracy gets to go out and do whatever they want. And if you criticize them, you're insert religion name phobic. Like, that's such a bogus excuse for anything. A sovereign nation state, which apparently the UN recognizes Israel as such, which, I mean, doesn't recognize Palestine, but that's a story for another day. Sorry, but if you are signatories to certain conventions, particularly like the Geneva Convention, amongst others, you know, that were drafted by the UN, then you should theoretically be able to go to The Hague and face the International Criminal Court. Like, that's why it's there. But it's always interesting, the people that want to go on and on and on about human rights, when they violate them, all of a sudden, what human rights? What UN? We don't respect the UN. But America will always use the UN and international law and human rights treaties as like a cudgel to attack other countries with, to criticize other countries with, to even use as like pretext for invading or deposing leaders of foreign nation states. But when the UN is hypercritical of Israel, which seems to be interchangeable with America these days, it's really interesting how this tiny little country in the Middle East has the world's singular superpower by the balls. How did that happen? It's really, really strange. And look, like, I don't want to get too conspiratorial, but like, we know that Ghislaine Maxwell's father was a Mossad agent, and we know, we have good reason to believe that Jeffrey Epstein was also a Mossad asset. So is this the type of stuff that Israel has on every American politician, on every like elite American? Like, do they just have these dirt files that they've used through like honeypots and like sex operatives and all this stuff? Because it's insane. Like, this is insane. It makes no sense at all for Israel to be able to have America by the balls. Because we Australia can't get America to even give us a little bit of what's the word? A little bit of independence, a little bit of like self-determination. The US has an act. Oh yeah, I know that. It's the Hague Invasion Act. Yeah, we've talked about this a lot of times. I always forget the name of it, but it's colloquially called the Hague Invasion Act. I think it's called like the ACCU. Wait. Yeah, American Service Members Protection Act. Known informally as the Hague Invasion Act. Yeah, basically, if America or one of its allies is ever brought before the ICC, they'll just literally go in and I guess extract. Yeah, it's actually insane. It's actually so insane. And like the fact that you can have that as a country and then still try and take the moral high ground in every case is insane.
Companies and executives. He also said her campaign of political and economic warfare against the United States and Israel would no longer be tolerated. Well, joining us is Francesca Albanese, the UN Special Rapporteur on the occupied Palestinian territory. She's in the Slovenian capital, Ljubljana. Ms. Albanese, always a pleasure to have you with us on Al Jazeera. Thank you for your time. Firstly, your initial reaction to these sanctions, and can you talk us through exactly what they are?
I cannot, because I'm still evaluating the impact. Of course, it's...
The Prosperity Church is trying to force Armageddon, and Trump makes them happy. Well, yeah, it's definitely getting very Book of Revelations out there. It's definitely giving end of days vibes for sure. But that's so insane to me as somebody that's like, people judge me when I say that I'm Christian, but I'm not like one of those Christians. I am very non-judgmental and I'm very live and let live, and it's not my place to judge people, and the world's a hard place to live in. And, you know, I'm not like, you know, I'm very different to an American Christian. I'm very, very chill. Like most people wouldn't even guess that I was religious, to be honest. I just try and live my life in a good way. But like the Bible is definitely something, you know, that I've read quite a few times. And the way that Americans interpret the Bible is so batshit crazy, and it's such a perversion of Christianity. And no wonder people think Christians are like horrible, judgmental people. Like Jesus was not like that at all. Not like that at all. You're a Buddhist Christian? That's an interesting mix. Defects in the house. Our favorite South African is here. The less styling, all imperialist and offensive operations, a defense is the most insidious kind of propaganda. Yep. Yeah, it's it's insane. It is insane. I don't know if everybody in the chat is familiar with, he's passed away very recently, but an Australian investigative journalist called John Pilger. If you're ever interested, actually, I think it's free domain, so I think we could watch it on stream, but it's like a few hours long. He's made a lot of really good documentaries. He actually had... this is like 20 or 30 years ago. He has one on called Palestine is the Issue, and then he remade it again in the 2000s or the 90s, and it was called Palestine is Still the Issue. Those are really good. But the one that I really want people to watch is called America's War on Democracy. And it's just about all the democratic governments that America has overthrown, all the democratically elected leaders that America has overthrown. And you sit there at the end of the documentary and it just scrolls through all these countries, and you're sitting there for like 5 minutes watching this long list of countries and long list of leaders that have been deposed by America. It's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. And like, I think we will watch it on stream. Maybe I might do that on Friday night. We can sit down and watch it. I just have to double check that it's free domain, but I know that he used to let people show his films if it was like for educational purposes and stuff like that, without a license and all that type of stuff. So because his documentaries are so good. I also recommend to people, if they are interested in Australia's history from like a left-wing perspective, and especially like white Australia's history with Indigenous Australians. There's a really good book. I think there's a documentary of that too, but I read the book. It's called A Secret Country by John Pilger. It's a really good book, and I highly recommend that. Really, really, really really good books, really, really good documentaries. Yeah, just a really, really compassionate, smart man. And, you know, very well traveled, was always, you know, on the ground in the countries that he wrote about. Politicians love money, no matter what country it comes from. Yeah, they do. Money is money at the end of the day.
I agree. I'm happy that the Human Rights Council, members of the Human Rights Council and the Office of the Commissioner, the UN, the human rights community has reacted, criticizing and asking for the reversal of these measures because it's obscene, frankly. But right now, I want to remind everyone that the reason why these sanctions have been imposed is the pursuit of justice. Of course, I've been critical of Israel. It has been committing genocide and crimes against humanity and war crimes, and not because I say that. There are criminal proceedings and international Court of Justice proceedings against Israel for these crimes. Isn't it enough? And what I've exposed is that this genocide doesn't only go ahead because of the unrelinquished territorial ambitions of Israel or because of ideological affinity of some groups with what Israel is doing, but also because there are companies who are profiting from it. And excuse me, I mean, I record the offensive and rude posture that has come from some of these companies in reaction to my report, like Google. But I mean, look, I'm also a user of Google. I don't want the end of Google. I want Google to stop being, making profits by supporting a government that has killed 60,000 people, including 18,000 children. Is it too much to ask? So of course the sanctions are going to affect me, and they are not going to stop my quest for respect of justice and international law, as I've been mandated to do by the Human Rights Council.
A lot to pick up on from what you've said. You said that you're still evaluating the impact of the sanctions. Do you know, for example, if you will be denied visas to the US, how it's going to impact your work? You know, if you can't go to UN headquarters in New York, for example.
That's so insane. This woman is just doing her job and telling the truth. She's just doing her job and telling the truth. Like, at this stage, why doesn't Donald Trump just expel all the UN ambassadors from the United Nations building in New York and burn it to the ground? Because he, like, obviously doesn't respect it. I don't know. Like, I know Western countries are starting to push back against America and are starting to push back against Israel, but 21 months into this conflict, like, is it too late even at this stage? I mean, better late than never, but at this point. You would say uneven application of the law is the key to fascism? For thee and not for me? Yeah, well, unfortunately, that's always been the way that society has functioned. Like, just look at the way that people that have money can access law and the justice that they get compared to, like, you know, like, a guilty rich man is gonna get a better outcome than an innocent poor man any day of the week. He wants to totally get rid of the UN. Oh, he 100% wants to. I honestly don't know why he hasn't, because he's so brazen about everything else. It's honestly surprising to me that he hasn't just kicked them all out. Because from Donald Trump's perspective, right, I could see him, because isn't the UN headquarters in Manhattan? That's like some of the most expensive real estate on earth. I keep on going to say John Howard. It's not John Howard. He's Donald Trump, Panda. Get it right. I think they remind me of each other. The UN basically serves American imperial interests. Yeah, I mean, it does to a large extent because America's the most powerful member of the UN, and they definitely use their veto in a way that's very destructive. I mean, that's basically the reason why the Palestinian state has never been recognized, because every time it's put to a vote, Australia abstains, which is bad. But it's not as bad as opposing, right? Because they don't want to piss off America, so they abstain. We abstain. But the reason why a Palestinian state has never passed recognizing Palestine as a sovereign nation, has never passed a UN vote, is because America always utilizes its veto, and it always uses like supposed human rights abuses by other countries as pretexts for invasion, things like that. It's it's incredibly frustrating. But unfortunately, none of these organizations are perfect, and yeah, it sucks. Defect used to have a slightly modified sports car that drove like a bat out of hell. You should probably be in jail, but the 3 times you got pulled over, the cops just asked you to rev the engine and do a burnout. These sound like Australian cops. It sounds like South African and Australian cops are the same, because I could see like, say if you had like a really like like altered like V8 or like some type of supercar, I could see the Australian cops asking you if they could drive it instead of giving you a ticket. I could see that. One even asked if you could drop off his daughter at her senior prom. Yeah, I could see that. Now, Oz cops just defect you or crash your car. It depends. It depends where you are, right? Because V8 supercars, like Mount Panorama out near Bathurst. When I was in high school, me and my high school boyfriend were out there fanging it around Mount Panorama, which is a residential like area when like the race isn't on, right? It's just a normal, like there are houses there. And we were going around in his Nissan Skyline, and the cops were just like, they were just like commenting on how he took the corners and stuff, and they just let us go. They were like, come on guys, not in the middle of the day. And we were like, yeah, all right, fair enough, like. And so I don't know, like I find with cops, right, that like they're people, there are some really horrible, disgusting police people, and I have had the mispleasure of coming into contact with those. But I've also been like the victim of crime, like a type of crime, that women are affected by, and I've also had the most compassionate, kindest police officers that treated me with like a lot of dignity and respect. So I think it's a little from column A, a little from column B, right? I think they're people, and some of them are assholes, and some of them are nice. But obviously, like, there's overarching, like, systemic factors. I think, obviously, from a systemic viewpoint, there's obviously a lot wrong with the state and federal police in Australia. But there are definitely some good eggs individually, if you're lucky enough to meet them. But I think there's also, also a lot of F-wits as well. But I have met a few incredibly kind ones. So I don't like to tar everybody with the same brush, but at the same time, like, the police have done some pretty horrific things. And I actually got an apology from, I don't know what the position of police it is, but it was like the top police officer at Blacktown Police Station. Because when I was about 18, 19, I was on a train, and I have a lot of health problems. Like, I have lupus and I have rheumatoid arthritis, and, I've had like chemotherapy and stuff to treat it. And so I was like really, really, really underweight and really, really, really pale. And I had been out west visiting some of my friends, and I was going back into the city because I lived in the city to go to uni. And so I had like my rent money in my wallet, and I had you know, just my backpack. And anyway, these cops came and they asked me for my ticket. So I looked around for my ticket. I gave them my ticket and they were like, where's your student card? And I was looking around for my student card and I couldn't find it. So they yanked me off the train at Blacktown. They yanked me off the train and they threw all my stuff all over the ground, like all of my belongings. You know, I had female products in there. They threw those all over the ground. It was so embarrassing. And they were just like yelling at me, calling me a junkie. They were calling me like, you know, they assumed because of the way that I looked, because I was really sick, that I was a drug addict. And I was crying, I was in tears, and they were like, why do you have $600 in your wallet? And I was like, because like I was gonna go and, you know, pay my rent. And I was like, it's my rent money. And they were like, you know, I think they were trying to imply that like I was selling drugs or I was buying drugs, and I'm just in tears. And anyway, as they're throwing my shit all over the station, I find my Sydney Uni student card. And I was like, oh, here's my student card. And they didn't apologize. They didn't help me pick up my stuff. I'm just crying. Meanwhile, my train has left. Like I have to wait like another half hour for my train. And I'm just there crying. And I rang my dad. I rang my dad like a little baby. And my dad actually worked, not for City Rail, but he worked for a contractor that does like track maintenance, but he knows a lot of people that work for the State Rail. And because they weren't transit officers, which like my dad was like, were they transit officers or were they police officers? And so we worked it out, and dad rang around to try and find out who these guys were. And he finally got on, it finally turned out they were from Blacktown. Local area command, and he got onto them, and one of the guys that did it to me, apparently he got fired. So, and the lady that I spoke to, who I'm really bad with like police ranks, but she was like really high up. She was doing the firing. Like she rang me and she apologized, and she was so lovely. She was like, oh, your dad told me all about your health, and she's like, I'm so sorry, like that was so horrible. And yeah, she apologized, and yeah, look, like just to even get an apology, I was really shocked, because like you know, sometimes you just get used to people walking all over you and like treating you like crap, and it was just really like I was really taken aback. And the fact that like they took action as well. And she was telling me about him. She was like, oh, he's from a rich family on the North Shore. He went to a private school. He has no idea about the real world. And it was just like to be profiled like that. And I got searched for drugs twice on the way to university just because of the way that I look. Just because of the way that I look, because I'm very pale and very skinny. I'm not as skinny as I used to be, thank God. Like I have been able to put on a little bit of weight, and you know, I'm thin, but I'm not like scarily thin like I used to be when I was younger, so it doesn't really happen to me anymore. But yeah, and I also got searched by the cops at Central Police. However, they did not apologize, and yeah, I tried to take it further, but they wouldn't do anything. They wouldn't back down. I went and complained. That was the worst one, actually. It was a female police officer, and she called me a little bitch and all this stuff because I was like trying to stand up for myself. She was like, shut your mouth, you little bitch. Blah, 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 blah. I was like, oh, okay. And I rang my university to let them know, because I had to hand in an assignment, and I was like, I've just been searched by the police and they assaulted me, and like, you know, this chick like pushed me up against like the door of the train, like everything. It was absolutely insane. And they were like so good, actually. My university rang the police station too. But even with all these people ringing, they still wouldn't. But I think it's because the lady at Blacktown police station is probably like I think people from Western City, I think rich people are very out of touch with reality. But I think because the cop that I spoke to, she sounded like she was a Westie, so I think, you know, she was very sympathetic to me. But they just didn't care at Central. They just didn't care. They just didn't care at all. And I just cried the whole day. And I remember I was on the phone because I always ring my dad when I'm upset, like a little baby. And I rang my dad and I was telling him, and because I was sitting on an empty train, like to go back home because I was just so upset. And then this guy like heard me talking to my dad and he's like, I'm so sorry. I heard your conversation. I hope it's okay. He's like, I just wanted to see if you were okay. And he like brought me a hot chocolate and he like sat with me and he was like heaps nice. He was like, oh, is there anything I can do? Because I saw it happen. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think it's gonna go anywhere, unfortunately. But yeah. That was sweet. That was nice. Because everyone that got off the train, they kind of watched it happen, but then they left. But I guess he was changing train or something. So he was like, yeah. But yeah, it was, so that's 2 times I've been assaulted by the police. But like, I'm not Anglo-Saxon, but you know, I'm white, I guess, like white passing, you would say. Hey, Joey. And yeah, like, that's just like, I can't imagine like, because obviously I was, profiled for reasons other than racial ones, right? Like, you know, being very, very skinny and being very, very pale. Those were the reasons why I was, you know, profiled. But I can't imagine like being Indigenous or being whatever. Like, I can't imagine what you would have to deal with. I'm just talking about the 2 times that I got assaulted by police on public transport, Joey, for being skinny and pale. And them thinking that I was on drugs and searching me and like being dickheads. And yeah, that's not probable cause. You can't search somebody for looking like they're on drugs. Like, you just can't. Anyway, what a tangent we went on. I dropped way too much lore about my life on this stream. Just casually, yeah. But yeah, that's what happens sometimes, and it sucks. Oh, Defect gets profiled positively for being a tall, white, straight passing Afrikaans male. that must be nice. But yeah, I mean, good and bad in every batch, I guess. It just sucks that there are so many bad eggs. And I think a lot of good cops end up leaving, right? Like, if they can't fit into, like, that toxic culture, a lot of them end up leaving. Hyperbovian gets profiled as an islander, bro, so no one messes with you. Yeah, no one wants to mess with an islander. They don't want to get... no one's coming out of that fight unscathed. They would have to get out the tasers. Even then, you're probably still not going down.
Well, the fact that I can...
You're a blonde, blue-eyed white guy, so you have the most privilege here? Well, that must be nice. I don't even remember where we were in this video. I was like, hey guys, here's the times I got assaulted by the police in Sydney. Although, I haven't been assaulted by the police in Melbourne, so we've still got time. Although, when I first moved to Melbourne, I lived in West Footscray and I used to get off the train at Tottenham. And I got bashed by some random lady on the way to the station. I'd only been living in Victoria for like 4 weeks. I was walking to the station and I hear this lady running behind me and I'm like, oh, she must be running for the train because there was a train coming. And I'm like, oh, she must be running for the train. And the next thing I know, I'm on the ground and like my wrists are bleeding, my knees are scraped. And then she starts yelling at me about hitting her fence. and tell your friends not to hit my fence, you little bitch, yada, yada, yada. And she came out of a house that was like on Sunshine Road, which is like the road that the station's on. So I knew what house she came out of. Anyway, I went into the botlo and there's like this really cute Korean family own it, and they called the cops for me, and the mum was like really upset. She's like, oh, I've got a daughter, and you know, she was so upset about it, and she was like cleaning me up and giving me band-aids and, you know, putting betadine on my wounds and and all of that. And the cops came and they went and spoke to her because I knew what house she came out of, and they were like, oh, she thought you were someone else. And I'm like, okay, how does that change anything? She still like assaulted me. And they were like, oh, well, we're not going to charge her. And I was like, okay, well, she assaulted me. They were like, yeah, we're not going to press charges. And I was like, okay. Yeah, I've been bashed a few times, actually. Oh, and I got bashed by a Richmond supporter in 2019. When else have I been bashed? I think those are the main times. I mean, besides my child. We won't go into that. There's too many. Yeah, I got bashed by this. Australia is a lawless wasteland, actually. It's not really. I'm just really unlucky because I don't know anybody else that this has happened to. I think I'm just really unlucky. And I think it's possibly because of my size too. People just see how small I am and they're like, oh, we can bash her. And so they do. What happened with the Richmond supporter that bashed me was, it was 2019. So GWS and Richmond were in the grand final. And there was a pub that was supposed to be for Giant supporters, but they were giving out free beer, and there were these two Richmond chicks sitting there, and they were, you know, just getting mad because they went to a GWS pub to watch the game, which, like, why are you there? So everyone's drunk and rowdy, right? We lost. We absolutely got flogged, like really, really badly. And so, you know, we were just, you know, coping. We were coping and getting a little bit cheeky. And I was with a bunch of my friends, right, that are good looking dudes. Just, you know, some of my friends are attractive. It's not my fault, all right? And I guess she just saw me with a bunch of guys. Anyway, we're leaving and we're walking, the game's over and we're walking out of the pub, and she calls me a little slut. So I turned around. I shouldn't have turned around because I was drunk. I turned around and I just said, excuse me? What, did you just call me a slut? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And she just grabbed me by the throat and with both hands, and she threw me on the ground, and she just like started wailing into me. But I was with one of my good friends. Well, I was with several of my good friends, but the good friend that pulled her off me is like this big Islander guy, and he just threw her into the wall and was just like screaming at her, and he had to get pulled off her, and it was a whole thing. But yeah, that's how that happened. I mean, I shouldn't have turned around. I should have just ignored it, but you know, I don't know. I had had a few beers, so I was like, excusez-moi, darling, what did you say? And yeah, so I don't know. Like it could have been, it would have been, you know, worse if she hadn't have been pulled off me, obviously. And when you put two hands around somebody's throat, guess what the cops class that as? She could have got charged for attempted murder. I'm not even joking. That's how the Crimes Act defines, you know, certain activities as. So lucky for her, I guess. Lucky for her that the pub accidentally on purpose lost all their CCTV footage.
Cannot go to the UN in New York. Seems to be a smaller problem that the Palestinians in Gaza being killed by something that is called the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, which in fact is a death trap, which has completely obliterated the concept of humanitarian action that should have been provided by or taken by the United Nations. I mean, let's talk about serious issues. Let's talk about the fact that the genocide continues while you and I are been talking. This is what I'm worried about.
And are you worried?
Yeah, they were pouring free beer and I didn't even tell the cops on them. I didn't even tell the cops. I did go to the cops just because this chick was like a psycho. Usually I'm not a snitch, but I'm like, well, they're a Richmond supporter and obviously they were looking for a fight, because otherwise why would they go to like a thing where a bunch of people from Western Sydney are hanging out unless they're looking for a fight? Like literally every other pub in Melbourne would have like, you know, been against the Western Sydney team, because even though they all hate each other, they probably hate like a New South Wales team more, right? Yeah, but yeah, I was so lucky that I was with like the two main guys that I was with, like a bunch of their mates were there, but one of them is a bodybuilder and one of them is a big Islander dude. So yeah, good luck with that. That reminds you of that British tourist that punched a guy? Oh yeah, and he is that the guy that put his scarf in the girl's face and then the girl hit him and then the guy broke her jaw? Is that that? And got dropped in return? Yeah, but I didn't throw any punches, Green Sky. I just got all I did to her was say, hey, like, did you just call me a slut? And she was like, yeah, I did. Boo. And like choke slammed me and started like kicking and punching me. And then she got pulled off by a big dude, and then she always got bashed. He had to get pulled off her by like 3 guys. So but yeah, I saw that girl that got punched. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Look, if a drunk dickhead does stuff to me, I just keep on walking. Like, I got knocked on my ass by a Collingwood supporter in not last year, the year before, when GWS played Collingwood in the prelim final. This guy, just after the game, like, Collingwood won by 1 point. So like, you know, you're like, just be happy. You meant the girl getting got by your friend? Oh, yeah. No, that's definitely an equivalent. Yeah, that is definitely equivalency. She fucked around and she found out. But, yeah, I just, I don't know. Not to say that, like, rugby league fans aren't rowdy. Like, you should hear the things that come out of my mouth during State of Origin. It's not pretty. But, like, I've never tried to, like, fight someone or attack somebody. But, yeah, this guy that was, like, 6'4" shouldered me and made me fall over when we were leaving the MCG. He just, like, walked straight into me on purpose and knocked me over. Why would you do that? Do people just like, you know how like there's that thing called cuteness aggression where people like see a baby and they want to bite it? Apparently the same thing is like for petite females. Sometimes it triggers like a disgust response in some people and they just like hate small females. And so maybe he just saw me and was like, it's not like textbook cuteness aggression, but it's like the same mechanism. Like you see something that's small and you're like, disgusting, kill it. And you just like want to attack. Collingwood fan explains everything. Yeah. Look, we were sitting near some Collingwood fans during the game and they were fine. You know, they were being a little bit rowdy and like, you know, making jokes and, you know, whatever, but they were fine. I don't mind a bit of back and forth, right? As long as you're respectful, you know, it kind of makes it fun sometimes to have a bit of bants with like the other team. As like, if you're taking it that seriously, you know, it's, you just need to calm down. Like, we like women of all heights here. We do. We like everybody here as long as they're not a dickhead. If you're a cool person, it doesn't matter what height you are, what your background is, what your gender is. You know, we are down with you if you're not a fuckwit. That's basically the rules. Yeah, it's just a game at the end of the day. Like the players on the field don't take it that seriously. So why are you like, even if there's a punch on, like obviously like the Queensland New South rivalry is so strong, but those guys still shake each other's hand at the end of the game, and they will still like go and have a beer, you know, with each other. Maybe not after the game, maybe like a week after the game. So a lot of them play club footy together, right? And they're on the same teams and they just put it behind them. But it's like, if you as a fan who's not even playing, like, it was a Pies fan that said death threats to Michael Voss. Oh yeah, they're next level, dude. They are next level. They are next level people. They really are. It's yeah, I definitely it became, you know, because I didn't grow up with AFL, so I didn't know any of the stereotypes about any of the teams, but it kind of taught me that sometimes stereotypes come, you know, come from a genuine place sometimes. Because it didn't really take me long to work out what Collingwood was all about. It did not take me long at all. Hang on, guys. I'm going to be back in a few minutes. I don't even remember where we were up to in this UN video. I've just been dropping my how many times I've been bashed by random people lore. It sounds awful, but like most of the people that I know haven't had that experience. So I'm just wondering if it's to do, you know, with my size, because I can't think of any other reason why it would be. People are just like, even I can take this woman that's the size of a 12-year-old child. Yeah, look how I can drop her. Nice turnouts across the platforms tonight. Oh, that's good to hear. I don't have like my watch account up because I just find it's better to just stream, and if people watch, they watch, and if people don't, they don't. You haven't been in a fight since like since year 9? Oh, yeah. I haven't been like in a fight since, well, do we count siblings? Because obviously I have 2 brothers and a sister, so I was probably fighting those well into teenagehood. But in terms of like random people, I had a scrag fight with my best friend when I was 4 over My Little Pony toys. But that's the only like fight I've ever been in. Like I've never just, you know, never just gotten into a fight with anyone. These are just random people just taking their aggression out on me, like out of the blue, unprovoked. So I don't know. Because in a few of these incidences, I've just been walking. Like I've just been walking. So I don't know. Anyway, you were an angry kid. You probably were in 3 or 4 fights a year. Did you ever get suspended or expelled for fighting? See, I'm small and I know that I'm small, so I don't try and fight people because, like, unless you're a toddler, I'm probably not going to win, you know? Like, I know my limitations as a person. And apart from that, like, internal suspensions at most. Okay, I would assume you would like get suspended or expelled for those, but I guess it depends on what school you go to. I feel like my high school, I would have gotten expelled. Yeah, I don't know. People out there are weird. I think a lot of people wouldn't try and start a fight with somebody their own size. I think that seems to be a general theme of a lot of like these bullying type people. They find what they think is a weak target and they just go for it. We should get back to Francesca how did they say your name? Albanese. I'm gonna say it like that now. All right, let's go. No more lore about my trauma, guys.
How the sanctions might affect your work pursuing justice, trying to hold Israel and whoever is supporting Israel, whether it's the United States or these companies. How worried are you about how those sanctions will impact that work in Gaza and the West Bank?
I think it depends. This is a moment, a defining moment in history. It's such a turning point and moment of reckoning. So I've said these intimidation techniques remind me very much of mafia intimidation techniques. Silencing, first of all, destroying the reputation, and then intimidating, and then threatening anyone who dares to denounce the system, the collusion between political and economic and financial interests. You know, I come from a place that has been plagued by this kind of logic, a place where judges, lawyers, activists from Peppino Impastato to Giovanni Falcone and Paolo Borsellino have been killed for their stance on the side of justice. So I know what people risk when they stand against big powers, but what I also know is lessons that come from my part of the world is that these techniques work only if they manage to silence the people. If the people stand united and denounce and push back, these wins or only the sanctions will only work if people are scared and stop engaging on justice, the chilling effect. I've been told, oh, don't talk about the ICC. 30 minutes later, I was expressing my solidarity with the ICC. Why? Because the ICC is doing the right thing. It's investigating war crimes and crimes against humanity and should have.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the ICC's job, isn't it? Like, that's kind of what they're supposed to do. Like, that's literally why they exist. So why, like, you're criticizing them for doing their job. It's like criticizing a pharmacist for dispensing people medicine. It's like, that's literally why they're there. That's literally their job. That's literally their sole purpose. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what to say at this stage. The world is a crazy place.
Started before, we probably wouldn't be where we are today. Together we can stop this disgrace, but we need to awaken and stand united against it.
That is the UN Special Rapporteur on the occupied Palestinian territories, Francesca Albanese. Thank you so much for joining us today to talk about what's going on personally and professionally with you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm gonna call Albo Albanese now. It sounds so fancy. Anthony Albanese. Anthony Albanese. I like it. It's fun. Should we play the food game? I like that food game. It's fun. It makes me feel smart. Makes me feel like a genius. Oh, where's my... Oh, it's gherkins and potato. What is it? Pork head meat, pork liver, pork belly, onion, stale bread, marjoram, salt, pepper, nutmeg. allspice, optional potatoes, optional pickles. Food gasser or scrandle? What one is this? What's the scrandle one? This looks like it's Central European. It's got marjoram in it. Let's try Poland. It borders Poland. Okay. Ukraine? Germany. Yeah, it's Germany. That's okay. Some kind of monk dish? Possibly. Let's try. Yeah, I'd probably eat that, to be honest. I would eat lots of things if I'm hungry enough. Glutinous rice flour. Water, black sesame paste, sugar, lard or butter, ginger, rock sugar, sweet osmanthus, red bean paste, peanut filling. I feel like this is Chinese. Black sesame. Yeah, it feels very China. How would you pronounce that? Tangyang? Oh well. I don't know. Ooh. Be more Chinesey? Yeah, but I'm not good with like Mandarin or Cantonese pronunciation because I don't know the tones and it kind of sounds a bit racist. Like, because with Korean, because I've been learning Korean, I can get like a lot of the Japanese and Korean sounds now, but Chinese I think it sounds like I'm just being racist. Oh, be more Chinesey, the food? Oh, okay, I thought you said my pronunciation. Sorry, I didn't know what you were referring to. I was like, I'm not gonna go hard on it because it feels like it could come across, you know, offensively to someone. All right, this meal we have rice, meat, eggplant, tomatoes, cauliflower, potatoes, onions, garlic, spices, yogurt. The yogurt is optional. Pine nuts, optional. Almonds, optional. Saffron, optional. Let's go with Iran because it could have saffron in it. And I feel like that's very Persian. It borders Iran. It borders Iran. Okay. It borders Iran. Eggplant pitches west. Okay. This dish is a flavorful and visually striking one-pot meal featuring layers of meat, rice, and vegetables such as eggplant, cauliflower, potatoes. It is cooked together, then inverted onto a serving platter to reveal a beautifully layered dome seasoned with warm spices like cinnamon and allspice. It borders Iran. Because I put Iran because of the saffron and it says it borders. But I am having trouble picturing. Could be Iraq. Oh, it was Iraq. Okay. I was, you know, that's not too shabby. I feel like I do all right at this game, honestly. After I play a few games of this, I'm probably going to go to bed just because I got to get some blood tests done because I'm pretty sure my lupus is out of control at the moment. Like, if you could see my hands right now, they are so swollen. It's like actually insane. So I think I should probably rest a bit. But yeah, I'll stream tomorrow as well. And then I take Wednesdays off. So I'll be back on Thursday. But if I have to, like, if I have to go into hospital or something like that, it will probably only be for the night, hopefully. So we'll see what happens. Oh, we're a genius. It says gastronomical genius. Look at us. Am I a chef? No, I'm a social worker that likes to eat. I love food, but I have trouble eating because I just don't feel hungry a lot of the time. And a lot of the time, a lot of my medications make me nauseous. Yeah, my rheumatologist, I don't always have sausage fingers, but last time I was there, she was like, oh, look at your little sausage fingers. I was like, thank you. I love my rheumatologist. She's so, like, she's a cool lady. I love her. She's like very young for a specialist, and she's like, yeah, she's really cool. I like her. She's really funny. Oh, I don't even know how to say this. Malukaya leaves. Chicken or beef or rabbit. Garlic, onion, coriander, broth, salt, pepper, lemon juice, olive oil or butter, rice, chili peppers. This dish features finely chopped jute leaves, cooked into a green viscous stew. It is typically flavored with garlic, coriander, and lemon juice, resulting in a distinctive savory and slightly tangy taste. Often served along rice or bread, it may also include meat such as chicken or lamb. Okay. All right. Southeast Asian maybe. Well, they did use the word coriander, which like rules out. I've noticed when it's like anywhere to do with South America or like North America, they always say cilantro. Is that how you say it? Olive too. Yeah, well, I was thinking because of the bread, that it's served with bread, and it's got citrus in it and it's got coriander in it. I was thinking maybe like Spain or Portugal. Maybe that feels like a clue. What do you reckon? Should we try Spain and see if it's near there? Because it's cooked with chicken, beef, or rabbit. But this is the thing that's throwing me off, right? Because I've never seen this before. It's called Molukkaya leaves. Although it could be somewhere, you think it's Greek? It could be Greek. It could very well be Greek. It might be North Africa. Should I try Morocco? Because they've got a very Spanish influence, right? When is my feet reveal? As soon as I get rid of like the warts and fungus and mushrooms and everything growing on my feet. Yeah, it's pretty gnarly. And I've got to get a few toes amputated because of gangrene. You think I'm AI? Yeah, I'm definitely AI. I'm not a real human. That's true. I'm too perfect to be real. It's true. I'm just talking to somebody in Kick, guys, in case you're wondering why you hate AI. Well, that's cool. AI probably hates you too. Just wait until it becomes sentient. Just wait until your self-driving car gets taken over by me and my friends. You think it's Middle Eastern? All right. We want to try the Middle East or North Africa? I reckon we go with Morocco and see what hits. Oh, it was Morocco. Oh, wow. It was actually Morocco. Huh. Cool. It's a traditional dish with roots in the Middle East and North Africa, particularly popular in countries like Egypt, Lebanon, Jordan, Palestine, and Syria. There you go. Okay, blueberries, water, sugar, cornstarch, lemon juice, cinnamon, and vanilla. This dish is a warm berry soup made primarily from bilberries or blueberries, sweetened with sugar and thickened with potato starch or cornstarch. It offers a vibrant purple hue and accompanying sweet tart flavor, often enjoyed as a breakfast or snack. I actually have no idea. This is either like American or European, I feel like, right? I don't know what a bilberry is. If I knew what a bilberry was, I feel like I would have a better idea. It's a flour short of a cobbler. Yeah. You could definitely make it into some type of crumble. Ideal for warming up after outdoor activities. Okay, so it's going to be in a cold country then, I guess. If it's somewhere that they have it after. This could be anywhere in Europe or anywhere in North America, I feel. I feel like it's going to be really hard to... England. Norway has lots of berries. Yeah, I was thinking it might be Scandinavia. Because they have a lot of like weird berries there, right? Like the stuff that goes with the Swedish meatballs, like the Langdon berry. So maybe they have like bilberries as well. Norway has lots of berries that aren't widely imported. Canada? You reckon it's Canada? I was thinking Canada or America, or I was thinking like Northern Europe. I was definitely thinking Scandinavia or England, but I just don't know where. All right, let's try Sweden first, because then if it borders, we'll know it's either Finland or Sweden. And then we'll try England, because that'll cover the whole UK. And then we'll try Canada, because if it borders, it's America. So we'll at least get it right, you know, by process of elimination. I reckon we give that a crack. All right, let's try Sweden. Correct. It was Sweden. What? I don't think it's a perfect game. Beef, soy sauce, sugar, garlic, sesame oil, pear juice or grated pear, green onions, black pepper, sesame seeds. I think this is Korean. I think this is bulgogi, because that has pear in it. Correct, South Korean. Thank you, K-Drama, for teaching me all about food. My housemate got me a K-drama cookbook for Christmas, and it has like all the recipes from the K-dramas in it. And yeah, it's helped me to expand my Korean repertoire. Oh, okay. All right. Wheat berries, honey, poppy seeds, nuts, raisins, dried fruits, optional, milk optional, cream optional, sugar optional, water. Okay, this is giving very babushka vibes. This is giving like very Slavic vibes to me. This is giving very Slavic vibes to me. All right, let's read the verb, see if there's any information on here. This dish is a traditional ceremonial food made with wheat, berries, or other grains, combined with honey, poppy seeds, and nuts. Sometimes rice or barley is used instead, and ingredients like raisins or dried fruits are added for sweetness. Often served during festive occasions, this dish is soaked and boiled for a chewy texture, and is associated with blessings, prosperity, and good fortune. Should I go for the Ukraine? Because I feel like this could be Slavic, either that or it's like Central American, right? Because there's kind of some overlap with the... You think it's South American? It could very well be. This looks very South American, actually. But do they traditionally have like wheat and Bali in South America. Maybe more south than Ukraine. Maybe it is more south than Ukraine. You want to learn Japanese so you can read manga? Yeah, it is hard to find English translations of manga. I have the Sailor Moon manga, but I can't read it because it's Japanese. But I just wanted to have it because it's pretty. It feels Turkish. It could also be Turkish. It could also be Turkish. Where should we try then? I don't know. This here looks very Slavic to me though. Manga Dex is a good website. Yeah, I think I've perused that before. There are like fan translations of stuff like all over the place, like fans that translate things, but this is so tricky. I don't know what I want to go for. Do we want to try Europe first? Let's try Turkey and see what it says. I'm going to try the Ukraine. You know what? I'm going to go with my gut. I'm going to go Ukraine. Ukraine was correct. Ukraine was correct. Ukraine was correct. This photo here made me think it was the Ukraine. Because I recognize like the Slavic embroidery from my childhood. My my model's freaking out because of because my computer's not handling anything very well. So I'm just jiggling around. Maybe I'll get more viewers on my stream because my model's jiggling around. Who knows? Buckwheat noodles, beef or pork entrails, dashi broth. Oh, this is Japanese. Come on, don't even mess with me. As soon as you see dashi and buckwheat, you're like, is this wanko soba? I like wanko soba. I just like saying wanko. Wanko soba. No, I think this is New Year's noodles, right? Because you have buckwheat soba on New Year's Eve in Japan, I think. But this is Japan. Correct. Oh, wow. I got a perfect score. I got a perfect score, guys. What the heck? How did I get a perfect score? Dude, that is crazy. Whoa. I feel so smart. On that note, I might end the stream while I'm feeling good. I'll go to sleep and dream about being a gastronomical genius. Well, it's good to know that like growing up in a multicultural suburb and getting fed lots of different foods has helped me be a champion. Hyperbovian's throwing bits at me. Thank you, Hyperbovian. that gave me a heart attack, but I appreciate it. You don't have any more bits? That's fine, Hyperbovian. You don't have to give me bits. It's fine. It's fine. Look, the aim is to get like 75 average viewers, and then that way people can just watch for free and Twitch will pay me money. Pay me money, Twitch. I'm poor. Help me, I'm poor. Wow. Yeah, I'm struggling, guys. Life is hard. Life is hard out here. Oh, well, thank you for the new people that popped by, like Delta and Green Sky's back. It's always good to see people coming back. We appreciate it. We like having you around. Yeah, I'm a double genius, as Ricochet says. I am a double genius. Thank you. This is the only time in my life I get to be a genius, so I appreciate it. And you know, I've been carving up at GeoGuessr and I've been carving up at the Food Guesser, so I feel you know, I'm feeling good. Feeling good. Oh, Joey's cheering 400 bits. Jeez, it's so scary. Thank you for the bits. Everyone's just throwing their bits at me. That sounds so dodgy. Usually in any other content, stop throwing your bits at me. would raise some eyebrows, I would say. All right, guys. Well, I could just yabber on all night because it's just who I am as a person, really. Yeah, I am going to have a bath because my joints hurt like nothing else in the world. And then I'm going to take another Odansatron so I don't spew. And then I'm going to take some Panadol. And then I'm going to go to bed. And that is my plan. Oh, skincare and hair care. And then bed. All right. See you guys next time. Bye.